So we're going to be doing chapter 2-1 this time. Alright, let's get started. Same inventory as usual throughout all of my other videos. It's going to be basically the same inventory I use throughout with a few alterations. For this level, as you can see, I brought in a couple of grenades with me. You're going to need that for the very end of the level. You don't need a whole lot of them, you only need one. For this first part of the level, you're going to want to pull out your shotgun, make sure that those claymores don't get you. When you turn around this corner, you want to get that guy out of the way as soon as possible. And sometimes your shotgun will also have a couple of pellets spread over into that second guy. So if you can get him, that's absolutely fantastic. When you get to this dog segment, though, try your best to get rid of that archer guy at the top and just shoot all the dogs with your Hydra. The Hydra has a fantastic range. So even though you're far away, you'll still be able to hit a lot of different enemies. This guy, it comes around the corner, so make sure you have your shotgun ready, poised to get him. You want to pull out your rifle before climbing up this ladder, because when you get to the top, turn over to the left, there's going to be this guy over here. He's definitely managed to snipe me out a couple of times while I was managing my inventory. You want to stick back here to where these canisters are, pull out your magnum or whatever your more or less long-range, close-range weapon is, and just take everyone out from there, and then slowly move your way up throughout this little car junkyard area, I guess, as you make your way up to the door. Now just be careful, because once you take out these two guys coming up over this little ledge, you're going to want to turn around, because there are going to be a couple of dogs that spawn in as well. So take them out, and there you go. First section, not that hard. Open the team door. Now this part's a little weird. I used to do this by shooting the explosive barrel over on the right, which you have to use to take out this truck. However, I've had one run where Chris accidentally shot that red barrel before I actually got into that sequence. And sadly, this means that I died. And I lost that run, so I'm like, ah, gah. But once you get past that, just pull out your rifle and just start shooting like a madman. You should be able to get everyone within a reasonable distance. But not too hard. Before you enter into this little sewer area, pull out your Hydra. And just shoot all the dogs as they come around the corner. Like I said earlier, the Hydra has a fantastic range that makes this segment incredibly easy, because basically once the dogs come around the corner, you can just shoot them immediately, and more often than not, they should die, but as you can see, there were a couple of dogs back there that didn't actually get killed within one shot. And there's going to be a team door right here, so just make sure that Chris is actually standing right next to you. I've had a couple of runs of the levels in this game where Chris would sometimes, whenever I was at a team door, would be all the way on the opposite side of the map, so that's a little annoying. For these guys over here, you're going to want to pull out your rocket launcher, maybe shoot one down at the bottom. You don't really need to, but that's just the way I always do it. Pull out your Hydra and just start shooting. And I picked up a grenade, so I'm actually going to turn around and chuck that thing as far as I can. So we're just going to head all the way down to this sewer area. Now, if you want to get a treasure, you can do what I'm about to do, except I failed. There's going to be a guy that runs across here, as you can see. If you manage to hit him, he actually drops a treasure. So if you want to get a little bit of extra cash while you're doing professional mode, if you can manage to hit him, he's a good way to get. I think his treasure's worth 2,000, I'm not sure. He drops a square diamond, so I think it's 2,000. But it doesn't really matter how you enter in this house. I like to break open the lock and then enter in through this way. Once the cutscene starts, you're going to get ambushed by a bunch of guys. Keep your eyes out on this little window right here. But the other point of entry you want to worry about is the doorway, because there's going to be a big man, Majini, who enters the room as well. Take him out, you know, however you please. And once you take him out... Whoa, that dude just came in through the door. Once you take him out, though, it should be relatively safe to just go outside of that doorway and then make your way over here to this gate. There's going to be a guy on the boat. Make sure you take him out. And at this point, you're pretty safe for a while. you can basically just make a straight beeline all the way over to this wall over here on the left, where some guys will give you support with a rocket launcher in about 5 seconds if he would actually show up. There he is. So he'll give you some support, in quotes, with a rocket launcher, even though I'm pretty sure I actually get everyone before he really fires off a rocket, or if he does, you know, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So take out this guy up here on the elevated platform. There's an explosive barrel up there, so if you want to shoot that instead to make it a little bit easier to hit him, you definitely can. But once you take everybody out, you can basically just run forward. There's not going to be a whole lot left in this segment, so whoa! That was really close, and had I gone just slightly before that, I probably would have gotten killed. So this door is going to open up at the end, so just take up a position and pull out your rifle, and you should be able to get everyone who comes out of that doorway. Make your way over to the team door, and there you go. That segment is done. Weren't a whole lot of problems in that particular segment. Now, this segment can be slightly annoying depending on how you go about it, but if you're just a little smart, then it's not all that bad. Before you actually trigger this next cutscene here, wait and turn around to get these two guys that'll come out and ambush you. Once those two guys are down, then actually move up to trigger the cutscene. After that, keep your Hydra out. Fantastic range is going to save you once again. Take out those two flying guys. There's going to be a guy who shows up in this elevated platform. Take him out. Same with this little flying thing. Except I didn't actually get him. Chris actually gets him. Make your way up. Still with the shotgun. You should still be fine. Because Hydra is also really good for this segment too. There he is. So we're just going to enter up into the house here. If you picked up that green herb earlier, you can actually get a red one that's right there, so you can make a full heal item. Not that you're really going to need it, but it's still nice to have just in case you have a little bit of an accident. Now this is the part of the level that you actually need the grenades for. Pull out a grenade, and this little animal health sign, bounce it off the bottom of that sign, and it will explode. And if you make your way all the way down to the bottom, ta-da, doors open. That works basically every single time, as long as you bounce it off that sign. Now, normally you'd have a little bit of a segment where you and Sheva would get split up, or yeah, Chris and Sheva would get split up, and that's a really annoying segment to try to do. It's not, actually, I should say, it's not an annoying segment on Professional, but you can skip it, so there's no real reason to do it. It's just one less thing you really have to worry about, and it's one less thing that can get you killed. Now for the chainsaw guy, you want to rocket launcher him immediately, but don't pick up the key until you're over here on this opposite side. Wait for both you and Chris to get over on the opposite side. It'll be a lot easier to rocket launcher the chainsaw machine without getting ambushed by a few random guys that spawn in. You'll basically be able to see where all of them are coming from, and it won't be all that bad in order to avoid getting hit altogether. Because if you get into dying mode status now, then that would have really sucked. So this is the last part of the level. There's basically nothing left that can kill you at this point. So just open up this team door and get ready for a couple of quick time events. It's not all that hard. There are only 3 of them, so... And you have plenty of time in order to get these too, so... It's not as if you're going to die here. At the very least, if you know what to expect. And with that, and this one last cutscene, the level is over. Not a hard level. There were a couple of spots that gave me a little bit of trouble the first time I did this, but once I figured out those safer ways in order to get past a couple of different segments, like the segment where you have to get the key, and then the chainsaw machine all the way at the end, that was a little bit of a tough segment the first time, but the level isn't all that bad once you figure out those little parts out. So that's basically it, you know, not too tough. It took me about 8 minutes to beat. So I'll see you guys next time for when we tackle on the second level of Chapter 2. So I'll see you guys then.